What's up, guys? I am Rohamin G. Adam.
And I'm Baitilak Silantoy.
And welcome to our YouTube channel. Electronic age 1930s to 1980s began when electronic age large equipment came, including computer, came into use.
Television's programs in 1941. When commercial TV began in July 1941, New York City had 3 stations on the air. Although NBC had the only commercial license, CBS offered the most programs on a weekly basis. Learn about some of TV's earliest shows, including Thrills and Chills Everywhere, Man at Work, Fashion Discoveries, and Televisions, and more. Television program in 1941. The first commercial that see on TV last July 1941 at New York City. There have been 3 stations, but only NBC has commercial license. The road to commercial broadcastings. After several years of false starts and missteps on May 2, 1941, the Federal Communications Commission announced that recent developments demonstrate the industry is entirely within agreement with television broadcastings and is ready for standardization, and said July 1st that a station wishing to operate commercially would have to broadcast at least 15 hours per week. May 2, 1941, Federal Communications Commission announced recent developments demonstrate the industry is entirely within agreement with television broadcasting is ready for standardization, mean that the commercial broadcasting is already starting, and set on July 1st to operate commercially would have the broadcast at least 15 hours per week. The commercial that given to them has 15 hours to show their Fashion Discoveries and Television, NBC 1941. This 4-week series was sponsored by Bloomingdale's Manhattan and Abraham and Strauss of Brooklyn. It was the first commercial fashion show and was produced by Norman D. Waters, who declared that television will exert a greater influence on fashion than any factor yet known. This series sponsored Bloomingdale's Manhattan, Abraham, and Strauss of Brooklyn. It is the first commercial fashion show, was produced by Norman D. Waters. He also declared commercial on television like fashion only getting known because of this program.
Modern society cannot function without electricity while enjoying convenience of electronic aids, lights, air conditioning, telephones, radio, and internet every day. In Parlance of Electronic Aids, we present the history of electronic study from 1930s to 1980s through 4 important yet beautiful scientific instruments. We give some detailed description of how they work, how they use the famous electrical discoveries associated with this instrument. Transistor radio is the smallest portable radio receiver that uses transistor-based circuitry. Following their development in 1954, made impossible by the invention of the transistor in 1947, they become the most popular electronic communication device in history, with billions manufactured during the 1960s and 1970s. A transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch electronic signals and electrical power. It is composed of semiconductor materials, usually with at least 3 terminals for connection to an external circuit. This transistor, it has an advantage: smaller mechanical sensitivity, lower cost, and smaller in size, especially in small signal circuits, low operating voltages for greater safety, lower cost, and tighter clearances.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And for more info, please click 1075.